Good morning, students. Now today we are going to start our 11th lecture of chapter number 11, that is ray optics. Okay, and in a previous lecture, in our 10th lecture, we have discussed about the some applications of total internal reflection, that is TIR. In that we have discussed about the mirages and the brilliance of a diamond and optical fiber. Okay, and that I have just been given you for your homework, that you have to be do by your own, that you have to write the theory of the brilliance of a diamond and the optical fiber by your own. So I hope that you have completed it, that work. And now I think it's around around a week that we are not getting our lecture of the physics. So now from today it's become continue. Okay, so now our today's topic is a refraction of spherical surface. Now this formula is very much important because the formula which we have derived in this topic has been utilized in the next topic as well. Okay, so in this, the refraction at a spherical surface. Spherical surface means for the lenses, you know that the lens has the spherical surfaces. Okay, so we are taking that surface. So first of all, for understanding this concept of refraction at spherical surface, we have to be start it with the diagram. Okay, with the ray diagram. So suppose this is I am taking a spherical surface. Okay, now like this I am extending this line. Remember that in this the law of refraction is applicable at every point of a spherical surface. Okay, we have to follow the laws of refraction at every point of the spherical surface. Now this is the principal axis, you know it very well. Okay, now first of all we have considered this as the spherical surface and it's of aperture AB. Okay, and its radius of curvature is R we are taking. Now we have just be separate it with the two media. Okay, refractive index of medium 1 and refractive index of the medium 2. We have separated with the two medias N1 and N2. Now there is a point where the object we have placed on the principal axis. So suppose here I have placed an object at point O. Okay, so the ray is coming from this object and incident on the spherical surface. Okay, by making an angle alpha. Here it incident at point D. So OD is the ray beta. Okay, and suppose after this I have just be draw a normal line. Suppose that the normal line is from the center of curvature C. So as the media changes, it has been refracted and make an image at point I. So this is that the incident ray making an angle with the normal is the incident angle of incidence, and the refracted ray making an angle with the normal is the angle of refraction, angle R. Clear? Okay, this will be the point P. Okay beta. So this OD line and this OP line both are meet at point I. Okay, here it formed the image. Okay, now we have just considered that the D point is very much near to point P. So if it is very much near to point P, then we will consider the DP, or you can say PD. This is behave as a straight line. If this point D is very much near to point P, then this is as a straight line. Okay, so after getting this, I am not writing the starting theory beta of this. You have been write the theory of this by your own. I am explaining the diagram. Okay, so I am just telling you that suppose this the point D is very much near to point P. This is the assumption that we have assumed. Okay, so here I am just telling you that the point D is assumed very near to point P, so that PD is a straight line. Okay, clear? Now if it is a straight line, then we are taking that this angle beta. Okay, so here I am just taking from this diagram that angle of a tan theta, angle DOP means alpha. Okay, so angle DOP, so it is your tan alpha. So it is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So if it is behave like a straight line, you know it is always that the line in front of the angle is behave as a perpendicular. Okay, and the base is your OP. So perpendicular upon base, so perpendicular is your DP and base is your OP. Clear? Any confusion? Next we are taking the angle. Okay, so sorry, first of all I have just draws the angle in this diagram as well, that this is the angle beta and this is the angle gamma. Okay, clear? Now further I am just taking an angle that angle DCP. अब you know it very well beta that DCP is beta and this is the straight line, this is the base. So DP upon PC. So tan beta, that is DP upon PC. Now third one which we are taking is tan for the gamma one. Okay, DIP. Now look it in this diagram that DIP, this we are not taking DIC because this is not be the straight line. Here we are taking the straight line. Okay, so DIP, so this is the gamma, so it is your DP upon PI. Okay, so tan gamma is equals to DP upon PI. Clear? Okay, now we are taking, I am explaining you out, then I will write it down. Then I am now taking the second thing. First of all I have just taken all the angles alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, now we have just taken the triangle DOC. Now you know it very well, in this triangle DOC the angle I is behave as an external angle, and you know that the external angle is the sum of the two internals angle, means it is this angle I is sum of angle DOP and you can say DCP. Okay, so here means alpha plus beta we can say, so angle I is equals to alpha plus beta. Okay, then afterwards we will take in the small angle. You know it very well that DOP we have taken as DOP, we have DP upon OP, DCP we have taken as DP upon PC. Okay, so like this we have put all these values. So I am just telling you how we will write it down, that in triangle DOC angle I is external angle, hence we have to apply the property beta that I means angle I is equals to sum of the two internal angles DOP plus angle DCP, that is equals to alpha plus beta. Okay, Suppose previously we have taken tan alpha, tan beta and gamma is equation 1, 2, 3, and now I am writing this is equation number 4. Okay. Now if we are just be taking that the angle is very much small, so a small angle, the small angle is in the form of a radian beta, because it was a plane angle. You know that in our 11th standard, okay, in chapter number 1st, units and measurement, we have studied about the two types of the unit, fundamental and the supplementary units. Supplementary units, two units are there, plane angle and solid angle, and the plane angle is having the unit radian and solid angle is having the unit steradian. Okay, so here we are taking it a plane angle, so the very small angle in the radian, that is then theta is approximately equal to, we can say, tan theta. So if these angles are very much small, so these are also be your what, tan alpha and tan beta. Now we have the value of tan alpha and tan beta, okay, that is, you know, dp upon op and dp upon pc, that we have written in our right now. Okay, so I is equals to dp upon op for the alpha one and dp upon pc for the beta one. So this is your equation number 5. Okay, clear? Now further, as we have taken the triangle for the object side, now we are taking the another triangle and on the image side. So similarly, in triangle DCI, okay, this triangle is in the image side. Okay, the external angle is beta. So directly I am writing it down, beta is equals to gamma plus angle of refraction r, equation number 6. And again the angle is very much small, so this theta is equals to tan theta, approximate tan theta. Now we have to find the value of r. So from here r is equals to beta minus gamma, equation number 7. So this will become tan beta and this will become tan gamma. Okay, so now here we have to write the values of these. So now as I am writing down, so r is equals to, already we have calculated value of tan beta and tan gamma, so that is angle DCP minus angle DIP. I am directly writing the value, so it will be your DP upon PC. Right now we have used, okay, and this will be equal to minus DP upon PI. Okay, now this is your equation number 8. Now we have to be apply the Snell's law in this. So for applying the Snell's law, from Snell's law, what was it formula beta? Sine, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence and sine of angle of refraction is always be a constant, that is the refractive index, isn't it? So that we are going to be use here, so that that formula is like this. I am just writing that formula so you can understand that sine I upon sine R, and this will become n2 upon n1, isn't it beta? Okay, it will be like this only. So now we have to put the values. Okay, so it will like this beta, that n1 sine I, n2 sine R. Okay, so if angle is very much small, then theta is sine theta is equals to theta. So n1 I, n2 R for small angle. This will be your equation number 9. Okay, clear? Now further we have both the values of I and R, I from equation number 5 and R from equation number 8. So I am just putting both the values of I and R in equation number 9. Clear? So I have just got the equation, N1 is dP upon OP plus dP upon PC is equals to N2, and it is dP upon PC minus dP upon Pi. Clear? Okay. Now further we are going to solve it out, then we have making it clear, then the equation will be further become like, first of all we will take dP as a common, so dP and dP has been cancelled out. Okay. Now here PC, okay, so first of all I am just solve it out, so it will be clear. So first of all I am just telling you dP, 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 dP. So taking common, it will be cancelled. The equation will become N1 upon OP plus N1 upon PC, N2 upon PC minus N2 upon Pi. So now look at here that PC and PC both are common in both the refractive indexes. So what we have to do, I am just taking this N1 on this side and this N2 upon Pi on this side. So we can just take this value as a common. So it will be like N1 upon OP plus, and for this we have to be do, okay. So N1 upon OP, so it will be your N2 upon Pi, and further this will be on this side, okay. So N2 minus N1 upon PC, because PC will be common on both the sides. This is the equation number 10. Okay, and if we are using the Cartesian coordinate of a sign convention, then you know that object is always be on negative side and image is on the positive side. Okay, PC is behave as the radius of curvature, so it is also be in a positive side. Okay, so we have used the sign convention of Cartesian coordinate. Okay, so using Cartesian coordinate sign convention and taking this OP is the object and it is on the negative side always, so it is minus of U. This is for the image and it is on the positive side, so it will be your plus V, and PC is the radius of curvature, it is also been positive, it is plus R. So I am just putting all this value in this equation number 10. Okay, so it will be like this, we get minus of N1 upon U plus of N2 upon V is equals to N2 minus N1 upon R. This is your equation number 11, and this is the formula. And why I am telling you this is the important formula, because this formula we have used for calculating the Lensmaker formula. Okay, clear? Or we can say this is even this relation is valid for both concave and convex surfaces. Now we are going to start our lens topic next. Okay, and you know it very well that in lens, lens is having a spherical surface. Okay, so in that spherical surface, two different medias are there. That's why the refraction phenomena has been applicable in that lenses. Okay, so for that this we have to be calculate the Lensmaker formula, and for that Lensmaker formula this direct formula we have to be used. Okay, that we have already first calculated for the spherical surface, the refraction at spherical surface, then we can directly use this formula. Okay, clear? So I hope that you understand this topic. Now further, the next topic we are going to start, and our today's next topic is lens. Now you know it very well that what is lens. What is lens? Two curved surfaces are there, okay, and a transparent homogeneous medium is there in between that, okay. So what is that lens? It is a transparent homogeneous medium enclosed by two curved surfaces is called lens. Okay, clear? Even we can say that the two curved surfaces that we have taken, in that out of these two curved surface, one will be the plane surface even, okay, and the curved surface may be your spherical, cylindrical, parabolic, any kind of a surface we can take, but in our syllabus, in our 12th standard, only we are having a spherical surface, okay, and the surface on which the light enters first, that is your the surface in which the light enters, that was your first phase, and the other one is your second phase, okay. So that also I am writing down that out of the two surfaces, one can be a plane surface. The curved surface may be spherical, cylindrical, or parabolic. Okay, clear beta? It will be your both the spherical, cylindrical, and or we can say parabolic. Now, as we have taken the two curved surface, so our lenses are of two types, okay. So lenses are of two types. First one is your convex lens, and your convex lens will be your convergent lens also. Convergent lens, okay. And second one is the concave lens, that was a divergent lens that we will discuss after this. So what is that convex lens? So we can, the convex lens is the lens in which is thin from the outer rim and thick from the center, okay. What is this? These lenses are thin on the outer rim and thick at the center, okay. And the diagram of the convex lens is, I am just drawing in front of you, so you can just understand the concept of it. So its diagram is like this beta. The common that we have used, This is your convex lens. It has been thin from the outer rim and thick from the center. Clear? Okay. The second one is your concave lens. And that concave lens is also be termed as divergent lens. Okay. Now what is this lens beta? These lenses are thin at the center and thicker on the outer periphery or rim or portion, whatever you may write. Periphery means the outer portion. Okay, and the diagram of this is like that beta. Even you know about this, you have studied in your 10th standard as well. Why I am just drawing a line from the center? Because it was the combination of two surfaces. Okay, that's why. So now look it over here in this diagram. It is thicker from the outer periphery and thinner from the center. Okay, now you have just be and think about the concept which we have used in the mirror, that the concave mirror is your convergent mirror and convex mirror is a divergent mirror. Now in this, the opposite phenomena has been used, that the convex lens is the convergent lens and concave lens is the divergent lens. Okay, the concept is just vice versa in this. So that's why in that concave mirror, that convergent mirror, we have 6 ray diagrams and 2 ray diagrams for the convex mirror for divergent mirror. And in this, the convex lens is the convergent lens. So for this, it is we are having 6 ray diagram, and for the concave lens, that was a divergent lens, we are having 2 ray diagrams. The same concept will be we will apply, but in the opposite way. The concept which we have applied for the concave mirror, that we have used in the convex lens, and the concept which we have used for the convex mirror, that we have used in the concave lens. And but the diagram, when we have looked it from its diagram way, the diagram, according to diagram, like we know that the concave mirror is what? The inward curved reflecting surface and outward is the polished one, like this. Okay, and we have just combined two like this. Inward is the reflecting, outward is polished in the concave mirror. So we have connected two concave shapes. Okay, this is entering portion, so it will become the concave lens, and convex mirror is the outward one is the reflecting surface, inward is polished. So we have taken two portions of its from outer side, so it will become the convex lens, but the phenomena is just be opposite applied in both the things. Concave mirror will become the convex lens and the convex mirror will become the concave lens. Okay, like this. Now up to here we have studied. Okay, right now no numerical is coming. Further, we have discussed in our next lecture about the refraction through a thin lens. Okay, a small derivation, a derivation is there for that, and afterwards we have discussed about 2-3 derivation. Then we are coming toward the formation of the image. Okay, then we are having the numerical. Right now we don't have any numerical. The theoretical portion, derivation portion is going, we are going through that. And your homework for today is that you have to be go through the derivation of the refraction through a spherical surface. That was the important one even. Okay, clear? And we will continue with our next lecture. Your timetable has been changed. Physics, chemistry and maths bio lecture will be coming in the first 3 days of a week, that is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the language subject, the compulsory subject will be coming on Thursday and Friday, means on what we can say English and Hindi is coming on Thursday and Friday, okay, and the Saturday and Sunday 2 days are off, okay. 5 days are only working for you. So starting 3 days is for the optional subject physics, chemistry, maths, bio, and the next 2 days, that Thursday and Friday, is for your language subject, compulsory subject. Clear? If you are confused about this, this is the timetable, okay. Now thank you, that's all for today.